Tatura camp has number three, in European family groups, and the number 4 is Japanese family groups.
My name is Mary Oki Bourne. My family was interned from 1941. Actually, we left from North Queensland in 1941, arrived at Tatura on the 3rd of January 1942, and remained there till about September 1946, I think. I was one of the last babies born there. My sister Melba and I were born in the camp, and we had 5 siblings with us. My brother was only 2 weeks old when we moved from Innisfail, North Queensland, and we were trained down to Townsville first for a short time to where people were congregated there, and then on to Brisbane in the army barracks there, and then to Sydney at Liverpool, and then on to Tatura. And we arrived on my eldest sister's 9th birthday on the 3rd of January 1942. We were a big family, Oki family.
Yeah. Yoko Murayama, she was born in New Caledonia, and the whole family, how many family? 8 in the family, and transported from New Caledonia. And his father is famous for running his clothes factory in the camp where all the Japanese internees worked. Evelyn Suzuki, whom I mentioned in my paper, a family, again, big family from Thursday Island.
Father was the leader in the
And he was her father was the leader of one camp, big camp. He wasn't the one who slept. And Miyoko Watanabe, also from New Caledonia, and the family were 6 in the family. They were born was born in New Caledonia. So Melba is the sister.
Yeah, born in.
So just a few lines like that.
Oh, my name's Herbert. I was born in number 3 camp at Tatura in 1945. I have absolutely no recollection of the camp whatsoever. However, I have inherited the liking for barbed wire and corrugated iron. My brother and sister on my right have far greater experience of the camp, so I'll pass those to you.
Okay, I'm Theo. Girschik spent 5 years in the camp, aged from 3 to 5.
Thank you. I'll be telling my story in an hour or so, where the details will come forth.
I'm Theo. My parents were German missionaries in New Guinea and were interned when the Japanese started to come down. We were flown. My father was interned before I was born, and I met him 2 years later. We were flown to Cairns and then trained down to South Australia and put on farms of previous German people who weren't German anymore. But eventually the women wanted to be reunited with their husbands, and the family camp that was started in Tatura, and we were taken there in February 1942, which I don't remember, but I remember the rest. But we were repatriated to Germany in 1947. We stayed in camp longer than most people because there was no transport available until then. Thank you.
I'm Silke Hesse, or Weinstein Hesse. My father was actually born in Australia, and but had both nationalities, Australian and German, and was taken back to Germany as a for his high school and university. Eventually got back to Australia in 1935, and we were then born. He worked in his father's ruled by business, and was interned in 1940. And we were then interned in 42, my mother and 3 children. I was the oldest. And released again in 44.
I've often been asked with the surname I had whether we were migrants after the war, but that's not so. My parents and our whole community didn't choose to come to Australia. We were deported by the British, first interned in Palestine behind Baer in the German settlements, and in 1941 the British decided to deport a larger number of the Germans who were taken to Egypt, and there boarded the Queen Elizabeth, the troop ship that had delivered Australian soldiers there, and then took us to Australia. My little brother at the time was barely over a year old. I had just had my 5th birthday. We were in the camp, our family, until 1947.
Well, you've heard from my sister memories that are stronger than mine, because as she said, I was still a very young child. But I have clear memories of camp days. I remember Theo Baer and his father, who was my first teacher. We only started school at age 7, so I barely did a year of school in the camp. Our family was one of the last families to leave the camp. I think there were about 2 families after us that left. The one thing that I suppose I've done in my research since thinking back on those times is that the Australian government gave us no opportunity during internment to indicate the fact that we were not dangerous people.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.